In some of the oldest houses ever built, the dead were not buried outside. They were buried underneath, directly below where the family cooked, slept, and ate. 9,000 years ago, in the flatlands of what is now Turkey and the Jordan Valley, people built the first real houses. Small, mud brick, low-ceilinged, a place to sleep, cook, and stay. Inside, a single room, one hearth, one plastered floor. The whole family lived, ate, and slept in a space smaller than most modern living rooms. But here is the part nobody mentions. Directly beneath that floor, beneath the hearth, beneath the sleeping area, there was a body, a person, buried there on purpose, and not just in one house, across dozens of early Neolithic settlements. From the Jordan Valley to Central Europe, archaeologists have found the same pattern. The dead, buried beneath the living. Children played on those floors, meals were cooked on those floors, people slept on those floors. Every single day, directly above someone they had buried. The most studied example is Çatalhöyük, a settlement in what is now central Turkey, occupied continuously for over 1,000 years, beginning around 7500 BCE. Beneath the floors of individual rooms, archaeologists found multiple burials, sometimes 8 or more people, all members of the same household, layered across generations. The same practice appears at Ain Ghazal in Jordan, at Farha Haresh in Israel, and at several pre-pottery Neolithic sites across the Levant, all predating pottery, all predating writing. What makes this more than coincidence is where the burials were placed. Not in corners, not near doorways, directly beneath hearths and sleeping platforms, the most used spaces in the house. In several cases, skulls were removed from the burials after decomposition, retrieved, sometimes plastered and decorated, then kept inside the house or passed to another family. Plastered skulls with shell eyes have been found at Jericho and Ain Ghazal, carefully crafted, clearly displayed. These were not objects of fear. They were kept like portraits. Here is where it gets genuinely strange. At Çatalhöyük, some floors were replastered over 100 times. Each new layer sealed the one beneath it, and the burial stayed exactly where it was. Replastering a floor is not a small job. It takes time, materials, and effort. You do not do it 100 times by accident. You do it because the floor matters. Researchers studying the replastering patterns found something telling. The fresh plaster was applied most consistently directly above burial sites. The living were maintaining the surface above the dead. When a new family member died, earlier burials were sometimes partially moved to make room. Bones were shifted, rearranged, tucked aside. The space was being managed, not abandoned. In some houses, 4 or 5 generations of the same family are stacked beneath the same floor. Grandparents beneath children. The house itself became a kind of archive. And when the house was renovated, walls extended, rooms added, the renovations consistently respected the burial locations. New walls were built around them, not through them. The first explanation is practical. When you bury your ancestors beneath a house, you are making a claim. This land is ours. Our dead are here. We were here before you. Move us and you move them. This matters because these were among the first settled communities in human history. For the first time, people had something that could be taken. Burying your dead beneath your floor was one way to say, we are not moving. The second explanation is about connection. Sleeping above your grandmother is not the same as forgetting her. It might be the opposite. It keeps her present, under your feet, part of the house, part of the family. In many traditional cultures studied by anthropologists, the dead are not considered gone. They are considered present but changed. The Neolithic evidence suggests something similar. The dead remained members of the household. The third explanation is the most interesting. The house was not just shelter, it was identity. Who you were was defined by which house you belonged to, and the dead beneath the floor were the proof of that lineage. The deeper the floor, the longer the lineage. A house with 5 generations beneath it was not just a building, it was a record, a physical argument that this family had always been here. We tend to think of burial as the moment you say goodbye. You put someone in the ground, you walk away, and that is the end of the relationship. These people did not do that. At several sites, offerings, small bowls, animal bones, ochre pigment, were placed directly above burial spots, sometimes years after the burial. The relationship continued. It just changed form. Modern burial practice is built around distance. We move the dead to a separate place, a cemetery, a field outside town. The Neolithic approach was the opposite. Distance was the thing to be avoided. What these communities understood, and what the archaeology keeps confirming, is that the dead do not stop being part of a family the moment they stop breathing. The question is just what you do with that. The floor was not a barrier between the living and the dead. It was the point of contact, a surface maintained, replastered, walked on every day, because what was beneath it still mattered. These settlements lasted for centuries. The same houses, rebuilt and replastered, generation after generation. The dead stayed, the living stayed, and somehow that arrangement held. If this changed how you think about ancient life, subscribe. There is a lot more where that came from.